This blue dot's going on the air. Looks like he's going everywhere. With his pet Jenny and his blue dot family. Travis is his tech guy. Put that blue dot in the sky. On his first Naruto run. Looked like this blue dot was having fun. He is not a mouse. Moved from the shop to the house with Marsha and his clan. This blue dotty is the man. Travis is his tech guy. Put that blue dot in the sky. Looked like he was having fun. Looked like this blue dot is gonna run. He likes to say every day in his own special way. Are you shitting me? And he loves his blue dot family. We love John, he is the man. And we love this special clan. We are a blue dot family. And we like to
Hey, how y'all doing, baby? It is Thursday. It's time for a family meeting. I'm glad you're here. The first one to jump in was, of course, baby, it's showtime. So you know he's going to show up. Showtime. We appreciate it, buddy. Randy Peterson is here. Excuse me. Woo Pig and Sue Plum. I got your bead right there, Sue. Right there. And Joy Peters, Tamara Harrington, Karen Van Wyck, Virginia Woody, George Murray, and Mega Wet Willie, amongst others. I'm not centered upright, evidently. Adina Michaels here, Martha Oliveira, Denise Holt is here, Oddly Wired, baby, we're glad you're here. Teresa Diggum and Homer's Reluctant Odyssey, baby. I'm a little off-centered on my mic. I gotta shift my chair over. Is that better?
You need wheels. You need to get wheels on there eventually.
I ain't got wheels on it.
Oh yeah, you do have wheels on it.
Right, yeah, there are wheels.
But it's just a solid chunk of wood, so it's kind of hard
rock.
to move around, isn't it? Built like a tank.
David Lettner, buddy, spark it up, buddy. I know what you're doing out there. Take a big toke from me. Anyway, it's Thursday night, so yeah, I'm glad you're here. When I came in here, Donnie, of course, Donnie's out there talking on his bullshit parade again. Every day you could set your clock. He's got to come out. Well, he's a little after 5 o'clock today, just so he interrupts the news cycle, so he gets all the ratings. You know that because that's what he's doing out there. Just concerned about his freaking ratings. But hey, today's the big deal, baby. The big plan came out today. Donnie is gonna lay it out, baby. How we're gonna reopen the country. It was his plan to. Oh yeah, he started out on Tuesday. He gave a long list, about a 15 to 20 minute list of people that he called out, people and corporations that were part of the Opening Our Country Council. Remember that he did last Tuesday? Yeah, he's rattling off a bunch of names and all that shit. Yeah, A, the council didn't meet at all. And B, none of the people on the freaking list knew anything about it. Pfizer and McDonald's were notified an hour before that the president was going to mention them. You think this guy's got a plan for anything? No. No, baby, he pulls shit out of his ass every time you turn around, throws it out there for his little red meat minions, and they eat it up. They think Donnie's got the plan. Are you shitting me? Did you see the little minions? Where were they? I got in Michigan, North Carolina, and Ohio. The Trumpers, the idiots, the moron patrol came out to protest the shutting down of our government. Out of hell with this shit. We don't need no. They were in crowds, baby. There's a picture of them. I think it was at the Ohio State House. Oh, this lady, she's got her mouth wide open. A big crowd of people pushed up against the window. I don't know what state it was. Ignorance. In the middle of a pandemic. Everybody around her. No protection, no nothing. Just get in a big crowd. Because, St. Ronnie Reagan, I guess, will protect them. They're washed in the blood of Reagan. And nothing will hurt them. Are you shitting me? The ignorance of the right is just mind-numbing at times. Mind-numbing. Over 31,000 Americans have died in this shit. And these people are running out, I want to get back to my stripper club. That's where you're going, evidently. Shit. You ain't worried about going back to work. They crowded the park, the streets in, I think it was Michigan. They had a guy with a video talking about he's a nurse. He's trying to get to the freaking high. He can't get there because of the protesters shutting down the highways, blocking all the entrances to the hospital. Oh, that helps a lot. That's like, I don't know, shutting off funding the World Health Organization. These idiots, these morons that elected him, that are so diehard Trump, they're a danger. As a matter of fact, the headline was saying, it was the every zombie movie ever imagined. That's what it was like. A bunch of brain dead idiots. Oh, I want to go back to work. Get me go back to the store. Well, go to the store. Put a mask on, asshole. No, we don't want to wear a mask. I don't like so. Are you shitting me?
Don't even get me started.
No,
oh, my God.
Travis went to Walmart today. I went there the other day. There wasn't freaking hardly a soul in there wearing a mask. A few. That's the world of Walmart, baby.
The only people I saw at Walmart today wearing a mask were those who were really elderly. Like, talking about age they shouldn't even have to get up and go to the store. Everybody else, there's a few people keeping social distance in mind, but what really got me upset was seeing a group of teenagers playing with lightsabers in the toy aisle today, and just going to the medicine aisle. Like, I was always trying to be respectful and keeping my distance away from everybody.
Yeah, I've been trying to, it's not only the right thing to do, it's courteous.
I mean, I don't want to get sick, and if I was a carrier, I wouldn't want them to get sick. So, yeah, no, it was very fucking frustrating. I came home not in the best mood, and I'm not gonna.
You kept saying, now I got to wait 14 days. I said, what do you got to wait 14 days? So see if I got the coronavirus. You had your mask on, your gloves on.
Yeah.
I know Rose did,
and for the
too.
record, because a lot of people are kind of having the issue with gloves, saying it's not really doing you much good. You just got to wash your hands. For the record, when I use gloves, we take a pair of gloves for every place we know we have to stop, and we dispose of them outside the car in a bag.
Because you ain't got no hand sanitizer.
Yeah, well, no, we do have hand sanitizer, too. Yeah, that's the step afterward. No, hell no, I'm not going to leave the house without hand sanitizer. Are you kidding me? But no, it's just really sad. Like, I try not to shit on my hometown too much, but, I have another friend of mine who's telling me, like, people are just not taking this seriously enough, and having seen it for myself today, I could not help but I can't help but agree with them. They're not taking it seriously. Oh. And if Corpus ever ends up being one of the epicenters like San Antonio and Austin and all these other places, we can get as bad as they are.
Well, we're still rising.
Yeah.
We're still rising here in Nueces County. The last I heard, it was 96, I think. The other day it was 80. Now it's 96.
No, actually, last time I checked, we had 79 cases. That was this morning. We went from 60-something to nearly 80. Yeah, no, it's bullshit. And I'm sure there's probably enough of you out there in the chat who's probably dealing with the same shit in their hometown. But yeah, if you can help it and use like a curbside thing, it's best to do that. However, I was really disappointed also in our local Home Depot because we had to get some insulation paint because the summer's coming, and
Y'all did
our
get the
building
tank?
gets really hot. Yeah, we did. We
Good deal.
ordered it online, but the problem was the guy who was our tenant out to greet us.
Yeah.
Not only came up really close, he asked us to get out of the car, and he got pretty damn close, but he wasn't wearing a mask or gloves or anything like that. And even though we never, he never had us touch any of his equipment or anything like that, but he was still way closer than 6 feet. And, just, it's like, I see other employees, don't get me wrong. There's other employees out there that
I know
was
you
wearing
take it very seriously. I do.
Yeah.
I try to wear my mask. I got my handkerchief in my pocket. I never touch a door handle. I stay away from people. I smile, how y'all doing, and all that shit. But everywhere I go, I'm just so disappointed in the number of people here that are blowing it off.
And it's sad to say, because I try not to lump everybody into one crowd of people, because I think they're on both sides at this point. Because surely I'd hate to think we're surrounded that much, but I couldn't tell you how many MAGA hats I've seen today where they weren't wearing any kind of protection or having any regard to people's safety. But then again, I don't think this is a political thing as much as it is a common sense human fucking dignity thing. Like, let's take care of each other, man.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
They don't realize that they should be wearing a mask not for their own protection, but to protect everybody else. Now we done learned you don't have to be systematic to spread it. As a matter of fact, that's right before you get the symptoms is the worst time. So you don't know anything. You're just a dumbass who just wants to be a badass and show everybody that you're not afraid of it. Anyway, Diana Mallory just donated $5 through Super Chat and said, "Time to kick King Ding Dong Donnie off his golden throne. F Donnie," and I'll fill in the blank. Fuck Donnie. And
say that 3 times fast. Time to kick King.
Time to kick
King Ding Dong Donnie.
Yeah, kick King Ding. Yeah, that's a good little. All right, Diana, you're doing a little. She sells seashores by the Thank you very much, Diana. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, I got to do this, don't I? I'm in charge of this shit.
Yeah, unless you want to hand me the mouse.
Well, what are you going to do with my mouse?
Well, I'm just saying, if you ever need me, give me your mouse. Because now Dad has a wireless mouse. He can hand that over to me if I need to control his computer from here.
You ain't touching my mouse.
Oh, okay. We'll see what happens when the ship... No, I don't need it right now. You're doing fine on your own. I trust you.
All right.
I trust you.
See how he is, Mitch? Just no,
I don't get no respect either, John.
None at all, buddy. He buys me a mouse today. He brought me home a new wireless mouse, and then says, "Give me the mouse." Well, what is that shit?
No,
it's like Indian
I was just
crap.
saying, if you need my help, if you're drowning, give me the mouse. That's your life preserver, and I'll pull you in.
All right, Mitch, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm holding up pretty good, John. How are you? How are you and the family?
We're all doing pretty good. How's Julie?
She's fine. You just missed her. She's going back upstairs to watch Australian soap operas until dinner. And I am preparing the crab cakes.
Crab cakes.
For dinner. Crab cakes and tater tots for dinner. That's right.
Sounds like a meal to me.
Good to me.
Yeah.
Feast fit for a king, eh?
That's it, baby. Anyway, Budman, Dennis, how are you?
I'm doing great, John. How yourself?
Pretty fine. I'm hanging in there, buddy. Got a little warm today. Went out and did a little work in the garden again today.
That's good.
Yeah, trying to stay outside. I stay inside too much. My butt starts hurting if I sit too long. I know I got to get upside and go outside and do something. And
That's a great visual.
My butt. That's right. It's a great visual, Mitch. You ought to see my butt. It's a great butt. Greatest butt ever was. Greatest butt in history. Yeah. I don't think so. Anyway, we're glad you're here, Dennis. Bill Jones, how are you?
I'm good, well, sir, and yourself?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. How's everything up your way?
Well, the Carolinas are still here.
So,
I made a mistake and turned on the TV earlier, and I saw the new numbers: 34,000 people dead here in the United States.
34.
Yep,
Jeez.
33,987, but we're close to 34 grand. And then Donnie gets on the TV and says, "Yeah, but we're going to reopen this next week." And I'm going, "This guy's an idiot.
He's a moron, and he doesn't give a shit."
God.
It's so many of these governors, especially these Republican governors, They got a bad case of ass lickeitis. And the one up in South Dakota, she was hanging on there. What was her name? I got it written down here somewhere. Kristi Noem. She's the governor of South Dakota. She said, no, we don't need to do this shit. No. You know where the fastest growing spot is right now in the United States? Sioux City.
Sioux City, South Dakota.
Yeah, Sioux City, South Dakota. It is doubling
reading that.
every 4 days. While she sat on her ass and licked Donnie's ass and said, oh, no, we ain't going to do this. We're not going to shelter.
They had over 400 people in that one pork plant.
Yes, in that one pork plant.
Yep.
And then that just spreads, baby. Ain't no reason for nobody to stay home. We're Republicans. We're immune. We're washed in Reagan blood.
All you got to do is wear your MAGA hat and it'll protect you from the virus.
There you go.
And I used to think I lived in the most intelligent country in the world. Boy, was I wrong.
I did too.
You did until 1980.
Yeah. I swear,
I
swear, I'm glad you said that too, Mitch, because I base everything on Reagan. I don't know if it was my political awakening at that time or what it was that I really started noticing, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, you're coming up with a new name, trickle-down economics, for the same shit Republicans always do. Rob you blind. And so that's what they're doing. Yeah. Anyway.
I got so tired of the news lasted about 2 minutes, and I turned it over to sports.
There you go. Yeah. What kind of sports are you watching?
It's a replay of a football game about a year or two old.
I was figuring there ain't hardly any sports. Well, there was some sport going on. I think did y'all hear about Kyle Larson? Wait a minute. Before I get into that, let me write that down. Kyle Larson. I think that's his name.
Carl Larson?
I'm fixing to tell you who this idiot is. Bernadette. Are you with us, Bernadette, or she got her mic muted there?
I'm right here.
There you are. How you doing, darling?
I'm fine. And yourself?
I'm doing real good. I'm glad you're here.
Beautiful day out here in Northern California. Wish you guys had this sunshine, especially those of you in the snow.
Ooh. Now, we got up to 80, I think about 81 or 82 here today.
44 today, baby.
Oh, that's cold. That's cold. Anyway, before I get over here to Kyle Larson, which I don't want to forget to come back to this story because it just pisses me off and it serves him well. I had the opportunity today to talk to Bernadette on the phone today, and we had a nice little chat. And Bernadette had heard something. I like this idea for several reasons. Bernadette was listening to the Thom Hartman show, and there was a lady on there. I don't think Bernadette caught the lady's name, she said, but she had an idea, and the more I thought about it, yeah, that's a twofer. We could do a twofer. Bernadette, you wanna tell everybody what this is?
Okay, so I'm out in the garden yesterday. I got Thom Hartman playing in the background. He has a call section part of his show. And a woman calls in. She has this brilliant idea. I want to claim it. I wish it was mine, but it's not. I'm going to give her the credit. I don't know what her name is. But here's the plan. She wants to send 1 billion postcards to the White House. And here's how we do this.
Here's how we do it.
The postcards cost 39 cents at the post office. They have an online site where you can buy them. You could buy them one at a time, or you could buy them 10 at a time. $3.95.
$3.95.
She said, write POTUS on the front of the card, the address, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C.
How did you know
And
Trump's
on the
address?
Well, it's our house.
It's a house. Our house. We know the address of our house.
Our house.
That's right.
Built by our slaves, goddammit.
Now, here's the kicker. Here's the cool part.
Here's the kicker. I had brought up a letter writing campaign in the Blue Room the other day, and a few of us talked about it. And one of the ladies in the Blue Room took it and ran and came back at me with a very succinct letter to Trump. And it listed the majority of the things that he did wrong just during this coronavirus epidemic. and she started in January. This woman's ideal is to send this postcard to POTUS, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C., and on the other side of the card, 2 words: you're fired.
You're fired. Now, this is when I think of it, it's a twofold.
Brilliant.
One, Donnie is bashing the Postal Service right now. He doesn't even want to include the Postal Service on any bailout or assistance, which, my postman Bear, they're not providing any gear for them guys. Everything they do, they got to buy themselves the gloves, the masks, the hand sanitizer. Think about how many places that postman goes a day. And, they're on the front line.
John, our post office had, the last time I was in, they had a shower curtain hanging up for sneeze guard.
That's sad. That is sad.
A shower curtain.
So here's my thought on this. At 39 cents a card, which includes the postage, I mean, the whole card costs you 39 cents. You don't have to put a stamp on it. It's already got postage on it.
Mm-hmm.
You put "you're fired" on it. I'm going to go on there. I'm going to buy 10. I'm going to go online. I want to buy 10 as soon as I get my stimulus. Shit, something like that. Anyway.
And you leave them in your postal box.
Yes.
The postman will even pick it up. You don't even have to do it.
Don't have to do a damn thing. You mail your 10, all of them, with just "you're fired" on it, to the White House. President of the United States. We ought to write
1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C.
We should write.
I don't have the zip code, but we'll get that.
We should write the impeached president.
Impeached POTUS
of the United States.
How about just impeach POTUS?
Impeached POTUS. It'll get there as long as you get the address. I don't think you'll get it if you put "asshole" on it, which is what I really prefer to say.
Nope.
We have to be a little more appropriate. And impeached
this
POTUS
woman's
would be
ideal was
appropriate.
to send 1 billion postcards to the White House.
Flood it.
Let's Blue Dot
Flood
family help her.
So, I am going to get mine, and when I do, I'm gonna get my Sharpie out because I want to make sure he sees it, and I'm gonna write "you're
Sharpie
fired."
Would be awesome.
Awesome. A Sharpie. I'm gonna write "you're fired," and I'm just gonna, go down. I got to go to the post office anyway to check my mail and stuff. I'll drop it right in the mail slot. I think it's a grand idea. I'm gonna pitch in my 10. I'm gonna send him 10.
I was gonna say you should sneeze on it before you send it out.
You can sneeze on it. But
no, we don't want the mail handlers to get sick.
No, we don't want that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Plus, I think we're better than that.
Yeah, we're better than that. We are.
I like to think.
$3.95. You could buy 10 cards from the post office website.
And that money helps the post office. That money will help the Postal Service, which is under attack by Donnie. So it's a twofer. It's help the post office and screw the asshole.
Really quick, Dad.
The post office has been under attack since Goldwater.
Yeah, really.
Goldwater.
I tell people Goldwater was the last Republican. After that, things changed. Charles Stokel just donated $2 through Super Chat. Charles, we appreciate it very much, buddy. Thank you.
Charles.
Every dime helps, baby. We appreciate it very much. Anyway, Kyle Larson. I think that's his name, Larson. He was a NASCAR driver. Nobody heard this? I used the past tense.
Yes.
Was.
Yes.
Because this moron, NASCAR's down. There's no excitement going on. There's no races, so the fans are bored. Oh, my God, what are we going to do? Hey, I got an idea. Let's put the racers on a game. Yeah, one of them games, they can sit there at home and they can race each other. We'll film it all. It's a big thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess old Kyle, he was really getting into the game, I guess. He let a little something slip out of his mouth. He used the N-word.
Oh, Jesus Christ, for real?
Yes. I didn't even go look at what context he used it because I really don't give a shit. I read the story. I don't care what excuse he comes up with.
Splitting hairs.
I did not. Bernadette, did you see the whole quote?
I did not see the whole quote.
Yeah, the story was that he used the N-word live on this little race game that they're playing. Anybody want to guess how long he was a NASCAR driver after that came out of his mouth?
I think it was like the snap of a switch.
They shut the switch off on the game, and he was out the door immediately. Goodbye, buddy. We'll see you later. He's an up-and-coming driver. Had big plans for NASCAR. Yeah. It is. It just. How can you be so ignorant and just, how can you be such a racist asshole in 2020? It's because your daddy or your buddies are cockroaches, are racist assholes too. And your president. So, did it come out of his mouth? Yeah, it came out of his mouth because he felt entitled to. He felt, well, that's just me. That's the way I talk. Yeah? Go crawl back under your freaking maggot mama.
You know what's sad,
Whatever.
though? I mean, not that I give two shits about NASCAR, really, but, that sounded like a really
credit.
good
They
idea.
banned rebel flags. Finally.
Are
you shitting me?
Yeah. But that's what I'm getting at. Like, talk about a great idea, and boy, they're not going to be able to do that again. So those who really enjoy, racing, they're going to miss out on an event that was actually a pretty decent idea.
Oh, it was a good idea. Get the drivers out there, give them this game. Let, a lot of people play the games.
Yeah.
And put them on the same level as everybody else, and probably good publicity and good.
But you also know that's the shit they yell in the car. You know that was what it was.
What I'm
they
saying.
were getting
That's
so
the same
into it.
shit he's yelling to his crew chief when he's out there on the track.
Yeah.
So, adios, amigo. See you later, buddy. And he said he'd go to sensitivity training. Yeah, I don't think so, buddy.
I hate that shit because I was
go
reading
to
a story.
sensitivity training. Yeah,
I was reading a story earlier, and it was over in China, where there's a really horrible rumor going around that they're saying African Americans are the ones starting the pandemic and all that other shit. And a McDonald's up there posted a sign saying, if you are of color, you are not allowed in our facility. And of course, when word got around to corporate McDonald's or whatever, they, the same old shit.
Immediately
apologize and all that other shit.
Yeah.
But what I can't stand is
and
what I can't stand is the quote, they are going to get special training. And I'm just thinking, just like what you were saying earlier, sensitivity training.
Really?
It's like, is
To
this
me,
really
it's a
having
little
to
late
be...
for sensitivity training.
Yeah.
Unless you're a teenager and you're brought up with a maggot daddy or some shit.
But that's just it. It's like, don't
need
they
to be
realize just
taught.
how bad that even sounds? Like, we're going to send a team of professionals to go over there and teach them some common sense, because that someone's paying for that shit.
How bad does it sound to have your kids go to ethics training because they steal from a children's charity?
Right.
Yeah, that's our president, baby. Can't own a charity in the state of Texas. I mean, the state of New York. Yeah.
John, how many black NASCAR drivers are there?
Let me key you. If you count the one from.
Can we estimate?
Yeah, none. None.
Okay. How many Jewish NASCAR drivers?
Oh well, there's it ain't none.
Rabbi Myron the pit, right?
Yeah, I think he's on the pit crew. Changes the right front tire, I think. Yeah, it ain't happening.
Dude, what the fuck is wrong with white people?
It is a sense of pride for them. They still look at it as a Southern thing. When the moonshiners used to run whiskey. Well, that's true. There's a lot of things in history that are true, but you know what's in history? Slave ownership. Do you do that anymore? No, you don't. You asshole.
That's crapping in the street. We used to crap
in the street. Yeah, we don't do that no more. There's a lot of shit we don't do no more when you become a civilized society. But we indeed have cockroaches in these little maggots who like Kyle Larson, who think their color dominates the world.
John,
they're all over this country.
Yeah. What's up, Bernadette?
can I tell you something? Because I'm reading the article about Kyle Larson.
Uh-huh.
Apparently what he said thinking that he had audio contact with his spotter, and while checking his microphone, he asked, "Can't you hear me?" That word, that they call me sometimes.
Can you hear me, N-word?
That being said,
yeah,
Kyle
he thinks he's a brother.
27. Wait. Check this out. He's 27 years old. He's from up here where I am. He's from Northern California.
Isn't that disappointing, Bernadette?
Wait. Here's the kicker. Kyle is half Japanese with grandparents who was sent to an internment camp during World War II.
Damn.
Didn't know that.
And this little incident in calling
I guess his parents are proud
somebody else a racist term is going to cost him millions of dollars.
Yes.
I feel sorry for him.
Yeah, I feel sorry for him. Yeah, I feel bad for him. Okay, I'm done with that.
I don't feel sorry for him.
I'm done.
He should have known better.
Yes.
Can I ask a question of Bernadette as our representative of color here on the panel?
Yeah.
Now, is it okay? I don't know. I'm a little concerned because here's the thing.
No.
Is what?
It's not okay.
Well, is it okay to talk about someone's whiteness? Is there an equivalence there? Or is there something different about the N-word for which there is no equivalent to a white person?
I don't,
Okay, let me explain something to you. I used to go out with this, I've gone out with many different racial men in my life. I went out with one particular who considered himself a hippie with long hair, blonde hair, blue eyes, did his hippie thing. He chose to dress and look this way. Okay? He said to me one day in a conversation, being called a hippie is equated to being called a nigger.
What do you think?
This is what I explained to him.
Okay.
He could cut his hair. He could put on a suit. He could have some nice shoes on. He could carry a briefcase, and nobody would call him a hippie.
Exactly.
Me, on the other hand, I could put on a suit. I could carry a briefcase. I could have some really nice shoes on, and I, because of the color of my skin, will still be called a nigger. Now, where's the equation in that?
There's not.
I wasn't being facetious.
I'm not being facetious either. No. I'm telling you a true life story.
Yeah.
There is no equivalent. I will always be black. I cannot change the color of my skin. I could change my clothes. I could change my hair. I could change my shoes. But I will always be black. And I
you'll
will
always be beautiful.
On my skin color first.
And Bernadette's got pretty skin.
I bet you do.
Because I know her skin color.
Absolutely love the color of my skin.
Good, baby. I do too.
Good.
I do too. I'm not too fan of mine.
Because in December,
I got blotches all over it, scratches. I swear all a dog has to do is look at me and I get a bruise nowadays.
Now, the reason why I'm asking is because I wanted to bring something up to everybody, which is really a little bit of science here. Scientifically, there is no such thing as race. Scientifically, there is no such thing as race, meaning we cannot point to, say, a certain genetic sequence and say, if you have that genetic sequence, you're this type of person. Now, there used to be a time where they thought that was true, and they called these phenotypes, right? You've heard this thing.
Have you been watching Cosmos? I have.
Give me a break, Rybo. Huh?
All right. Go ahead.
But it turns out that those are fictitious. They are not a biological or scientific construct. They are a political construct. The idea of judging someone by the color of their skin is new in human society. There was a time where it mattered significantly less.
Yes.
And it wasn't until the 16th and 17th century when slaves were being captured that was given as the reason for them to be somewhat, not quite human. We're not as good as the Caucasian.
It
But let me
was
tell you, you can call me a Caucasian if you want. I don't come from the fucking Caucasus. You can call me whatever you want. I'm a fucking American.
That's
My
it,
parents
baby.
fucked here. My mom squirted my ass out here. I'm an American.
Yeah. And there's no caveat to
You
that.
know, recently I just filled out the census form. Okay? And online it was quite easy to do. It only took a few minutes, but they did ask me for my race, which I consider myself a Heinz 57.
Hey, wait a minute.
Reluctantly
Yeah,
filled out
we're
the
cousins.
African American, but when it came down to my grandson, who doesn't look anything like me, okay, he got to be African American and white.
Yeah, got the best of both worlds.
Now, what was amazing was that white was still a thing.
Unfortunately, it always
therein
will.
lies the conflict. White is always considered right. Black is always considered dark and evil. Always.
And that's
if
the way
you look
history
up those two words
given
in
it to
the
us.
dictionary, that's what it will tell you.
Yeah. You know, I saw an experiment one time with dolls, and it was run by a university, and it was young children, young white children and young black children, and they were led into a room where various dolls were laying there. There were white dolls, black dolls, Indian dolls, everything there, and they would always go to the white doll. And it was just over and over. Every group would come in. They wanted to play with the white doll. And even a black child, would pick the white doll because they thought it was cleaner and better. That's a problem. When you have
that's what we've been taught, especially
in our society. And that's how come I always say, will we ever do away with race? No, we're not going to do away with it because there's some cockroach out there teaching his little cockroach son
John,
that
the
way.
Simple fact of the matter is that this year, I'm sorry, maybe it was last year, 2019, we celebrated 400 years, not 245 years, 400 years of slavery in this country,
Yes.
of the first slaves coming to this country. That
long
means
before we became a country.
long before we became a country, slavery was a thing in this country.
Oh, yeah.
This country is built on slavery. It's written into the Constitution. It is part of the foundation of this country, and it is a huge fucking crack that will never be fixed. And anybody who does construction knows that if you build on a faulty foundation, it will
crumble,
fall.
baby. It's going to crumble. You know, most people, most African American Americans, when they go to this Ancestry.com and shit, they can usually trace their history back to about 1860, 65.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There's a wall there. Because before that, the history isn't there. The family history, and there might be certain exceptions where a slave was identified in Africa when he was caught and he was traced to American in his lineage. That's a rare occasion. Most of the time, they go back to 1865 and there's a wall there. And again, Bernadette's right, 400 years because there were slaves in this country long before we became country. I did just the other day when we were watching on
Nobody's here.
Netflix or whatever it was, George Washington.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. we watched George Washington's life, and I was taken aback by the fact that when Washington became president, Pennsylvania, which is where the seat of our government was at the time, did not allow slaves. Any slave there over 6 months would become a free man. And it made me feel bad that Washington had to rotate his slaves in and out of the state so he wouldn't have to abide by that law and free his slaves, because they were his property. As great a man as he was, there were faults. And I thought that kind of sucked to him. But what it also told me was, even then, even in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia, there were people that did not stand for ownership of other people. Slavery was not allowed. It just wasn't. It was a taboo thing in there. There were those that did the same thing Washington did. As long as they didn't keep their slaves over 6 months, they could rotate them in and out. But that's what I mean when I always talk about this being a generational fight. There's a generation, and before the even founding of our country, there were generations of Americans that were fighting for the rights of others. So when I say today in 2020, it's a generational fight, and I'm not going to see the end of it. Look at where this fight started. There was somebody wanting to end slavery from the beginning, and it has taken 400 years almost, let's say 300 and whatever, to free the slaves here in this country. That's a long
And we were one of the
generation.
last countries. We were one of the last countries to make slavery illegal. England was about 80 years ahead of us in making slavery illegal.
There you go. I love this. Ohio Dad 70 donated $5 through Super Chat and said, "I'm a black and blue dot." So saith Ohio Dad 70. I love that. A black and blue
No.
dot.
You did it wrong. Ohio Dad 70. Ohio Dad 70. There you go.
Nice. There you go. There you go.
Thank you very
thank
much,
you, Ohio
Ohio.
Dad 70. Ohio Dad 70. We appreciate that very much, and so
Travis,
glad.
I think I need to be.
I'll get you.
Oh, Bernadette was sliding out on us. Anyway, Bill Jones, tell me what's going on in your
Yes,
neck
sir.
of the woods. What's happening up there?
Not a whole lot.
Are y'all going to open up again?
There's not a chance, buddy.
No? People with
I am
brains
not
up
with
there?
Mr. Trump on that. I think Mr. Trump's making a big mistake.
Oh, man. Well, you know, I loved how he all of a sudden has his big meeting today. You know, yesterday he was telling her, tomorrow's going to be a big announcement. We're going to give a big announcement on how to open our Yeah. His big announcement is telling the governors, okay, it's up to you. Here's some guidelines he's saying, you know, phase 1, 2, and 3, you know, if your rate's going down, you know, you could do this, that, or the other. In other words, it was bullshit. And he's trying to backpedal from the other day when he was coming out talking about, I've got the power, baby. I'm the president and I can do anything. It's the same dictatorial shit that he has wet dreams about every night.
Really.
And
I'm trying to, for me, I'm just trying to focus on other stuff now. I've been working with Cal Cunningham and some other politicians, getting mailers and stuff together so that we can get people out to vote in the fall. We're starting to get the ball rolling, but I'm concentrating on getting people to vote blue and trying to ignore Donnie as much as possible.
yeah, I wish I could do that. I really do.
I was actually thinking
hard
about
to
you
do.
the other day because Twitter, North Carolina was trending because of the big protests they were having about reopening the government and all that other bullshit.
Yeah.
Apparently, we got some
Yeah,
of
well,
the
see,
similar.
we have.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. What I was saying is we have a Republican House and Senate in the state, okay?
Yeah.
But we have a Democratic governor. We have our governor's a Democrat. We got him in 2018. But they fight him tooth and nail. And right now things aren't going well, so we'll see.
Yeah, I was just reading a comment on one of my social medias here because I made a post about our trip into town, how bad it is, and apparently they got protests outside of Greg Abbott's mansion of people wanting the fucking wanting us to open back up. And you know, if it wasn't
It's an organized
It's not one of those
thing.
things where it's like, you know what, fuck it, y'all go outside and y'all get hurt, because in the end, it's not gonna just affect them. It's gonna affect us all one way or another.
Yeah.
So you can't just say, oh, you know, fuck this shit.
I'm thinking
you know,
maybe
go ahead,
we all
go
let
do,
the
go be
maggots
idiots.
just go ahead and go back to work. Everybody who's a Democrat or doesn't
Right.
think this is right, just stay home. Let the maggots go out there and work. No mask, no gloves, nothing. Chest bump each other. Do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, but the problem with that is
I
then they
know
go
it.
home
I
with
know
their
it. I'm just-
families and they get sick and they can
Yep.
get other people sick. It's just like
I know
it's
it.
a
You
really
just you
shitty
can't win.
situation. No, not with
They-
this.
Yeah, there's no,
They
it's a
want-
no-win
They want everybody
situation.
else to
Yeah.
go out there and they want everybody else to go out and die so that we can get the economy going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can die
you
for
know,
Wall
dead
Street.
people don't spend money, so that makes
Exactly.
a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dead people don't help the economy. And
Yeah.
what did you say
Yeah.
we're up to? 36,000 people dead in this country?
I'm telling you. That's
Yeah.
It's going to get worse before it gets better.
It's going to get worse
Yes,
because of
it is,
ignorant people
people.
like Trump and these maggots that go on out there and
Yep.
just and think about that. They're blocking the highways
And
and
do
roads.
you notice? Do you notice they're flying Trump 2020 flags? They're wearing MAGA
Uh-huh.
paraphernalia and all the rest of that. He's killing his own base.
Yep.
Right.
Well, and you know, he doesn't care.
He
That's
ain't-
the
So
sad
those
part.
are
He
the
doesn't
Never
give a
been known
shit.
as the
shit.
smartest guy in the world. Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of
There are a
smart,
lot of
He
Republicans
just-
fighting him now, though.
yeah,
He
I've
just
seen
won
a
the
couple ads that
council
are
of business people. Do you know what they
pretty
told
hard on
him?
him.
Huh.
Don't do this. Our people are not ready to come back to work
Yeah.
until there's massive testing in this country and they can feel secure about coming back to work.
yeah.
What is
I
so
think we
different?
gotta start.
Does he listen to them?
No.
No.
We-
He listens
we
to
got-
this idiot down in Florida, WWE, who wants to make money while
No shit.
that's who he's
WWE
listening
Essential
to.
Service.
He's listening to these idiots. He's listening to this woman who
Vince
preaches
McMahon.
every day to send her money and she'll send
Well,
you a
that's-
prayer that you don't catch
the-
COVID. Good.
Well, that's
It
'cause
happened to the pastor. The prayers
the
didn't help
governor-
his ass. He's dead now, huh?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Bernadette, the reason that thing with the WWE, that was the governor of Florida, DeSantis. He's the one that declared the WWE
DeSantis
a
has
necessary
said
thing.
it's up Trump's ass so fucking far he could tell him what he had for breakfast.
Really quick here, I want to bring in Dennis Valadez. How's it going, man?
Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
Travis, John, how y'all doing?
I'm doing fine, except I can't find my bong.
Gong.
Hey, Travis,
Bullshit, it says bong right there.
Come on in, man.
She says, "Bang your bong."
Who
I don't
did?
have my bong. Diana Mallory.
Oh, hey, look, Diana Mallory says,
Diana. Whoa, no.
computer problems. I have
That's
missed
right.
the whole show.
Hey.
Just bang your
Hey,
bong.
Hey, Hey,
gone.
Travis, this is Bill. I'm going to go ahead and punch out and so you can let a couple more people in from the Blue Room. A lot of times people don't get a chance, and I know it's very boring sitting in there for an hour and a half. So I'm gonna bow out and I'll listen to you guys on the YouTube.
All right, Bill. We appreciate you being here.
Yep, always am, man. I listen on one or the other.
There you go. We
I've got,
appreciate it, and
uh,
we appreciate the work you're doing over there in North Carolina too, buddy.
Yeah, no worries, buddy. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
You too. And let me get this out of my mouth right. Diana Mallory donated $5 through Super Chat and said, "Computer problems. I have missed the whole show. Just bang your bong." And I was looking for my bong, and I can't one. Oh, she said gong. So saith Diana Mallory. I'll have to get my gong in there so I can bang it when the moment
There
comes.
you go.
Thank you
Dennis,
very
how's
much.
everything going in Santa Annie?
Oh, it's going. We're still not peaked here, and I'm not sure if y'all already talked about Abbott making his announcement tomorrow about trying to reopen.
Nope. We haven't discussed that yet. Go ahead. Enlighten everybody.
Well, I mean, the
Our
almighty
governor's an
dollar.
asshole. Our governor's an asshole. What do you? What he's talking about reopening next week, isn't he?
I didn't read it. Just I read that he was going to make an announcement
Yeah,
tomorrow.
that's what I heard. Yeah, he hasn't made.
My
the announcement.
client announced today that they're going to remain closed until at least May 15th.
Yeah, I think several states have said that already too. They're going with May 15th, and then they're going to look at it then. which is
Right,
the
and they
only
said that May 1st, they're going to reevaluate on May 1st.
which is the only responsible answer you should give. Well, we're aiming towards this, but we're going to have to reevaluate it when we get there. You don't hear that out of Donnie. You don't hear that we're going to look at that when we get there and see where we are. No, he doesn't think that way. He thinks about open. He thinks about money.
Don't worry, John. Tomorrow he will claim he never said that.
That's
Okay,
true.
John, I've got one to put on you.
What's that? What's that, Dennis?
I was in another Discord. I'm in a few gaming
Sure.
channel,
Go ahead. Cheat on us.
and
We don't understand.
last night I ran into somebody that claims to be independent, but
You
loves
just
Trump.
happen to be in the neighborhood. Huh?
And he might be listening in right now. 'cause
Good.
I gave him the,
Good.
the
Maybe
link-
he
the
will
link.
be enlightened.
Yeah,
We hope.
That's not what I was going to say. But
Go ahead, Dennis.
His main question, I guess I'm going to ask everybody is, if you cannot see the good in people, then all you're fueled on is blind hatred. So he was asking, what good thing has Trump done, in your opinion?
What has he done? Well,
Hmm.
I could reach
think
down
about
and
that.
get
I'll get
this
back to
great
you in a
big
couple
book
days.
down here called the Mueller Report. Now, I know this person may be inclined to think, oh, well, that's all bullshit. Barr said it didn't happen. Well, I would suggest that you read the book, and it points out 10 clear instances of obstruction of justice by the president of this country.
No,
Just
good
off the
things,
top of my
Bob.
head,
Yeah,
I'm going to
good
say when I
things.
watched him stand on the stage as a military person, on the stage with Vladimir Putin, and disparage our intelligence community and kiss Putin's ass, I would say that is a big one. In
Good
Charlottesville.
things, though. We're talking about good things, not bad things.
What good things I can say about Trump?
That's the idea. Is like we get so blinded by hatred when it comes to such evil people.
He stole from his charity.
yeah,
He had a fake university.
yeah. But
He's
that's,
known for taking people to court and
Bro,
forcing
they're all
them to
bad
sue
things,
them
John.
for the money that he owes them.
That's his point.
Yeah,
That's his point.
I
there
can't.
aren't there aren't any good things
No,
that Trump has
I
done.
can't think of
Let-
very good
No,
any good
I
things.
let
get it.
this independent step forward
And
tell
I
us
will be the first
what-
one, whoever this
enlighten
person
us,
is, to tell you.
enlighten us.
I hate the guy.
Enlighten us what good he's done.
He's a draft dodging coward who refused to serve his country when he was called upon. He bragged to the fact that he doesn't pay taxes and insinuated that if you do pay taxes, well, you just must be pretty well stupid. Now, remember, these taxes are the same things that give us all the services, including military, that protect our ass
Wages.
and everything else this country has to offer are paid for by the taxes. But people like Trump and others,
Wait.
they get a
I'll tell
hard
you
on
what
by
good he's
not
done.
paying the
I tell you what
taxes.
good he's done. He gave a humongous tax break to corporations,
the corporations
and
and the rich.
people in this country. Okay, he's done that. He let a few black people out of prison. Okay,
Yeah, well,
he's done
you know,
that.
he's trying to get the vote, baby. Come on.
He went down to
Don't make me get into the petty
El
stuff like he can't
Paso.
spell hamburger. That's,
he
you know,
went to
that's
El
just
Paso
petty.
when they
John.
had
I
the
know it
shooting,
is.
and he went to the hospital to visit people and do a press conference showing that he was visiting people. He did that.
the only thing I can remember,
What
and
other
I don't
what
think
other
it was.
good has he done?
The only thing I can remember, and I don't even think it was him who did it, and if someone could enlighten me on this, there was one time early on, and
I'm
I
trying
believe
to
it was
think.
early
How
on his
will you?
presidential thing. It was he passed the bill for the right to fight, which allows I can't remember if it was younger children or people of all ages that can have the right to try experimental medication if they're in a dire.
I remember him.
So, I remember he was plastering his face all over that. But do I?
Yeah, I'm sure that was his idea.
Yeah,
Well,
you
that's
can
what I'm
bet your
saying.
ass
Is
it
like
wasn't.
I don't think that was necessarily his
No.
idea. But you know, as far as like front page newsworthy articles where I saw his face on it and go, oh, okay, that was the
I have
only
not
thing.
heard him
but
speak.
But you know, here's the thing. He's done so much damage that he demanded over the past 3 years.
You're backing away from the mic, Mitch.
Sorry, it's yeah, the family's here. I'm sorry. He's done so much damage that anything good that he might have done is negated.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the ballot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm having a hard time thinking of a single thing that he did that I would say, oh, look, that was a good thing. I just don't. I'm trying. I know there must be something that
You're not
he
a
did.
corporation, John.
No.
You're not a corporation,
No.
so you can't see the good things that
You
he's
ain't
done.
rich, so he
Yeah,
ain't
I'm
giving
not
a
in that.
fuck about
Yeah,
you.
I'm not in that
You
class,
see,
and I
can't
suspect neither are
hand
is
over
this
fist
fellow that's
money
listening.
right now.
If he was listening.
Well,
You know,
the example he gave was he gave veterans money. I was like, he cut
Bullshit.
funding for veterans.
Yeah.
I think I'd call bullshit.
Tell this independent to don't be scared. Come on the show and enlighten
Oh,
us.
he wants to come on, but he's
Yeah.
Please.
Meanwhile,
he's
Brent Kavanaugh erases
Well,
that, so
Yeah.
forget it.
You know, I often want
He's
to.
pretty much broke the fucking Constitution.
Yeah. You know, he's
Well,
been
my
impeached
example
for a
of that
reason.
is just getting started.
I
The
want to.
lies, the deceit, the utter bullshit that he pulls out of his ass. I don't see how any respectable American can look at that man and think that he is in any way a leader, in any way a mentor for your kid to look up to, because he says he's rich. He says he's rich, but he hasn't shown you his tax returns. He doesn't want you to see his tax returns. He doesn't even want you to think about his tax returns. And there's a reason for that. Any American would, baby, unless you got something to hide. Oh, well, Johnny just got too much money. Yeah.
Now, hang on.
You know, Sam-
I want to hear the rest of what Dennis had to say because he had some examples and everybody's chiming in here. I want to
Okay.
hear more
I'm
about
sorry.
the source.
I'm sorry.
the examples I gave him were, yeah, he's pumped a lot of money into the stock market, big corporations. He's done stuff that effectively benefits him and his friends.
Yeah.
The upper echelon of society. So he's really good to those people. I agree. Yeah, he's done a lot of good for them.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
But for the average American, no, not really.
No.
No shit.
And here's the thing, though, and this is where I'll come in and say this, because everybody, it's like, oh, let's bring this guy on and have it out, because already I can tell you it's not going to be a productive conversation, so why should we bother? Because
It's not. I kind of got
That
hooked into the
I
conversation to
remember
begin with.
something else he did.
Well, that's okay.
He gave he gave the military industrial complex of this country a whole lot of money.
Big time.
Yeah.
And again, as a veteran, I find it offensive. We already, one of our biggest problems in this country.
For contracts. For contracts.
Is
not,
defense contractors.
Not the people who serve the country.
Baby, they're raping this country blind under the auspice of, well, we're protecting you. And God bless America. We need a strong military. And there's nothing that you can say to argue against any of the lines that they use.
Anybody,
What's that?
do you feel protected right now? Right now, do
No,
you feel protected?
No, there's shit flying around that I can't see. So, no, I don't feel like I'm
I gotta wear a mask
Something
and
in
gloves.
the
Yeah, if I
air.
got to wear a mask and gloves, I'm not feeling protective. I'm not feeling safe in my country.
Thank you.
But then neither is anybody else in the world feeling safe with this. We're facing a pandemic of an origin that is questionable, but at this point, regardless of where it came from, you're faced with a pandemic. What do you do? And
Right.
so what we need to be mad about is the response that our country gave, that our president, while he dangled away the whole month of February with his little campaign rallies and shit and bad-mouthing Democrats about all this, when he was briefed on it in November and December and January and February, and people just kept telling him and he didn't pay attention. And now he wants to blame Obama. And again, I want to name the name, I swear, to whoever that guy is that's listening. If he could come out and tell me the name of the famous American general that came to him and said, "Sir, we don't have any bullets." Yeah, the day he can give me that fucking name, he might earn something. Until then, it's a bullshit fucking story he pulled out of his ass, and he keeps repeating it, just like the bullshit story of the shells wimpy. Nobody saw this coming. All the other bull crap that he spreads while trying to find blame on anybody
Yes.
but himself.
Exactly.
He's a coward then, he's a coward now. That's what I find offensive about him. He takes no leadership. He gives no security. He doesn't radiate any confidence. He can't speak unless it's written down on a piece of paper.
He has a hard time.
Yes.
Really quick before I chime in, I want you to read off those Streamlab
First
logins.
thing, Stephen Penn, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you, Stephen Penn. We appreciate it. Every one of them counts, baby. And then Lenop 1776 donated $5 through Super Chat and said, John just bought 30 cards. We'll send out this weekend. We'll sign from a November voter. So saith Lenop 1776, buddy. That's outstanding. I
Thank you.
appreciate that so much. I'm going to do mine, baby. I really am. And I encourage
Me
you to
too.
do the same. And then Diana Mallory donated $5 through Super Chat and said, what is in the unredacted Mueller report? Very good question, Diana.
All
What
right,
is
I
in
got to
there?
I think
chime
we
in
may
here
find out.
because the way I
I
look
think
at
we
these,
will.
the way I always look at these situations is Dad's the bad cop, I'm the good cop. Dad goes in there with a fist. I'm going to go in there with some very gentle Bob
Bust
Ross
your ass
words.
here, but if you don't give
So,
me the information I need.
So to
Nah,
if this potential
I'm a nice guy.
watcher is watching, for example, here's what I would have to say, and it's pretty simple, and it's this. You know, if this was, let's say, George W. Bush era or even Obama era, I can understand the idea that people can jump to any conclusion they want because they read a story online or they just go with the crowd, the hate mobs or whatever, because they do something or someone says they do something and they immediately hate. I get it. There's a lot of people like that. However, in this day and age, and this isn't because of any bias I have, I always try to remain neutral no matter what. I try to anyway. The thing is, though, is the idea of trying to find good on him. You know, nowadays, there are stories that come out on our current president that I have to question, are they even real? Because it's unheard of. The shit that he does on a daily basis is completely unheard of. And with it being so, it's like living in a fucking cartoon with cartoon politicians. And just how unreal it is that people support this guy when he's clearly against the people. Now, if you were being legitimately serious about wanting us to find good, I said what I tried to think of, but that was literally it. I can unfortunately tell you more bad than good because of the people that are in my life that have been directly affected by him. No other president in my history has ever done anything to impact those that I care about to the extent of which has been done today. So I hate to say it, to this person who's listening. I can't think of anything good. And if you are being serious about wanting us to find something good, if you really believe there is something good or redeeming about this man, I feel bad for you, man. I really do. Because you're a part of the problem. And you don't have to get into it as much as we do or be a conspiracy theorist. It's nothing like that. It's just, look. So...
Yeah.
I
would recommend you start with turning the channel off of Fox News because.
But it's not just Fox News anymore. It's literally
No,
Facebook. It's literally
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
And people don't take the time to look into these stories and figure out what is fact and what is fiction. We live in that society.
There are still people now who believe this conspiracy theory that 5G cellular causes
Coronavirus. Yeah.
Can you believe these fucking morons?
They are literally burning down towers in Europe.
They're burning down
My
cell
God.
towers because they're claiming. So we don't have a monopoly on stupid.
And then I guess
No, we
they'll
don't.
wonder why their cell phone doesn't work. My cell phone doesn't work anymore. That's bad service.
But see, it's the same reason why people believe the Earth is flat. We have a duty to try to convince people to think for a little bit. Don't follow the hate crowds. Don't follow the hate mobs. You know, and I try to do that on both sides. It's like, look, let's stick with the facts that are real, because there's times where I'll see propaganda stories on our side. It's just articles made to try to piss us all off. There's enough truth out there to piss us off. There's more than enough truth to be pissing us off. We got to stay to the facts and stay to the truth. That is most important, because we don't want to look like the idiots in the long run. So,
Too late.
yeah, right?
Yeah. Too late.
So,
Mitch Goldstein donated $2 through
unfortunately-
Super Chat, and I can't agree with him more. He said, John Britavo for Secretary of the Navy. I don't think I'd be Secretary of the Navy. I think Blubs here would probably get there before I do. And for those of you who don't know who this is Blubs Blue Wave, Commander Blubs Blue Wave, sent to us by our dear friend Miss Nomad.
Star.
And he will be on duty and taking command of this whole operation until the orange turd is flushed down the toilet, baby. So
All right, I'm going quiet for a while so I can eat my crabby.
your crab cakes
We'll
and
be
tater
listening.
tots, buddy.
Oh, we're making crab cakes, man. Take
All
care.
right.
We'll be here. Huh?
All right.
see you later, Mitch.
All right, Mitch. Thank you very much for coming by. Take care of him, Julie.
Oh, I'll be back. I'm just gonna go eat.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll wait for you. What y'all want to do while he eats?
I don't know, play around of magic or something.
Magic or something?
Never
Cards?
played
Anybody got that card?
I could teach everybody here how to play magic. Take a few hours, maybe a few days.
And then there was that awkward pause.
No, that's
No,
just me
not really.
shuffling my deck. Sorry.
Anyways,
That's
I talked to this individual for probably a couple hours last night. Well, I did a lot of listening because he was very insistent on making points.
Right.
What I gathered was he is in adoration of the way he takes charge, and he's a mover and shaker, and he's real with people and his responses with them.
You know,
And my response was his response to people that he doesn't consider on his level is almost to the point of inhumane.
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure that if you walked up to Donnie Trump, he didn't know who you were, if he didn't have any animosities towards you or anything like that, he'd be very cordial to you. You know, how you doing there? You know, yo, you look at there, you truck driver. Look at these truck drivers up here. He can interact with people, and I think he tries to put on that air of, well, I'm just a blue collar guy like you. No, he's not. He's had a silver spoon stuck up his ass ever since he was born. His father made sure that he was getting paid by the time he was, 5 or 6 years old. He was already rolling in the dough because it was a tax write-off, making deals. He's been a little scumbag all his life. His daddy paid for his bone spurs thing from the podiatrist that rented the office in a Trump building. So he got that. You tell me that he didn't get his diploma paid for by a guy who can barely talk without a teleprompter, who can't hardly spell, even using spell check, who thinks that he is the glorious thing ever put on this earth? No, I
He
don't
called
buy into a
himself
man like
God
that.
sent.
Yes, he is. He is the chosen one. Oh well, Johnny was just joking. No, he wasn't. No, in
No,
his
he
brain,
wasn't.
He don't do it.
really believes that. And you know what else he believes?
Yeah.
He believes that no matter what he says, you will shove it right down your throat, say it tastes so good, and smile. And that's disgusting to the rest of us out here who can
That ain't gonna
recognize
happen.
bullshit when you hear it. And the fact that, when we say he's not a leader, my God, just look at the last couple of days. He went from one day he's got all the automatic power in the world to the next great plan is I'll let you all do it. He didn't want to take control to shut it down. He said the governors can do that. They can shut down their states when they want to, but I'll decide when you go. No, you won't. No, you won't.
He
You know
don't
why?
want the responsibility.
No, he doesn't want the responsibility,
He's
and he
not gonna
doesn't
take
know
it.
what the Constitution says.
That's damn That's obvious.
That when this it's shoot from the hip that they well, he just shoots from his gut feeling. And really, how we doing in North Korea there, buddy? Not too well. Who's the only leader in the world that he gets along with? Putin and Kim Jong-un. There are bad guys. Those are the people that we are against. Russia, been against them. Look it up in the dictionary. It's in the history book.
Yeah.
And that's his best buddy. That's who he stood. And as a veteran, I'll tell you whatever else you're listening to, that man stood on the stage in Helsinki and kissed Putin's ass. I do not want a commander-in-chief that is too much chicken shit to stand up for my country. That really pissed me off. So I don't give a shit what good you see in him. He's a draft-dodging coward who would sell this country out for a freaking blowjob. That's who he is.
Travis, your daddy needs a gong.
I just trying to calm myself and trying to demonstrate that I'm not just
This-
a hateful asshole.
but see,
to
right-
it. But I
goes
am.
by the moniker Scribbles, by the way.
There's only so much of that shit. The people that stand up, well, you're just Haiti. Yeah, damn right. Any American who loves this country should hate his ass, should want him out of our house.
Absolutely. Yep.
He makes a fool of
Better
us
in this country
every
that should
day
believe
he's
that
there.
motherfucker.
This whole damn shit coming up on 5 o'clock every day to come out there and bumble off a bunch of bullshit is for his ratings. It's not to inform you of anything. Pull your head out of your ass. Don't sit there and try to claim that you're a fine American patriot and you love your country. No, you don't.
Or that this man has done any good for it.
That's what's wrong with this country, is that people are so willing. You see them out in the middle of a pandemic are willing to go out there and protest the safety measures they're trying to put in place to keep your ass alive. Oh, well, it's not around me. Oh, wonderful for you, asshole. You don't give a shit about the rest of the world or the rest of this country or the rest of your state or the rest of your neighborhood. Oh, it ain't. I don't got to wear a mask. I ain't going to take a chance. Get out there and be an idiot.
Did y'all talk about this earlier? I
In a
can't.
couple of weeks, we'll see how this works out.
No.
No. The MAGA hat wearing protesters that are blocking hospitals in Michigan.
Oh, yeah. Freedom of
Yeah.
speech and all that stuff. They have their right now, Dennis. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Blocking a hospital. It's
During a
literally
pandemic.
you could equivocate that to,
You could equivocate it to murder.
attempted
Yeah.
murder or conspiracy to commit murder.
I'm standing up for my freedoms. No. You're being a moron, an idiot, trying to prove to the world that what? You're some badass? You're stupid. You're the reason our society has problems like we do. Where's your freaking rebel flag? I'm sure you got it stuffed somewhere.
They had them in Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And they wore their MAGA.
Until
Uh,
the freaking
paraphernalia.
Republicans, meaning your ass, kicked those Klan members, white nationalists, white supremacists, all those shit out of the Republican Party, you ain't got shit to say, asshole. You're just a deplorable, just like Hillary said. Racist, xenophobic, homophobic. All them words that Hillary said were deplorable.
Hillary.
You put
Hillary
yourself
said
in that
shit.
basket. You allow those people into your house. So I
Yes.
just assume you're a racist asshole too. Guilt by association. Birds of a feather.
Ugh.
Stuff like that. Words that were taught to you when you was a kid. You hang around with cockroaches. Oh, well, you're going to get a little itchy. But you sit there and be as proud as you want over supporting this man. But from somebody who served this country, you can kiss my ass. As a Navy veteran, he can kiss my ass. I hear they might reinstate Corser. I hope they do. The commander of the United States ship USS Theodore Roosevelt, who was relieved of his command by acting, never served a day in his life, Mobley, who now is fired. Hey, getting any unemployment there, Mobley? You ought to sign up, get in line. I hear the line's long. Yeah, don't worry about it. He ain't got to go to unemployment. I am sure him and people like him walk out the freaking door with a big old fat bank account.
Really quick, before this goes any longer, Gary Spring, how are you doing, man?
I'm sorry,
Hey,
Gary.
hi.
You didn't let me
Hey,
know.
how you guys doing?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
How's everything up in Canada?
We're surviving. We're doing okay,
Good.
We're doing
Good.
all right. Yep. We're kind of, we're just being cautious about everything right now. We're just taking our time with everything. So,
What a really
yeah,
relaxed
it's-
atmosphere
yeah.
from Gary. I understand that y'all are going to get $2,000 a month. I think it's for 4 months now.
Yeah, we're 4 months. Yeah, that's right.
Go figure. A country that
Yeah.
gives a shit about their citizens. They've made a plan.
Yeah.
4 months. Hey, we got to settle down here.
Yeah, and then we have a prime minister that actually has compassion for people. He's not a.
That's what our leader does not have.
He doesn't have
Besides
compassion.
all the other features that we've pointed out tonight, he doesn't have
and he
compassion. He doesn't have empathy. He
No,
can give
and,
a shit less whether you suffer or not.
He
Personally.
doesn't even have a fucking dog, for Christ's sake. What the
No,
hell
he
is
doesn't.
wrong with
Yeah.
that?
Well, there's in my house.
Find a dog that likes him.
Yeah, it's you ain't got a dog. What's the matter with you? Is there
Well,
a
half
problem?
administration by this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw he didn't want to put checks out until he had his signature on there or
Ain't
something.
that sad?
Yeah.
Never in our history,
He-
buddy. Never in our
Yeah.
history has a president ever insisted that his name. It's not even going on the signature line. It's going over on the memo line. Just because he wants you to know. It's the same thing with that CDC guidelines. It wasn't the CDC guidelines. It was the Trump guidelines.
I think his signature's on there to say, "Well, look at what I did for you, and
Yes.
then vote for me."
Yes.
That kind of. It's the old.
I almost.
But he said he knows nothing about that.
Yeah, it's the dog
If you
and
got
pony
it,
show,
I don't know. I know there's several of our Blue Dots have gotten their payment. There was a big glitch. I did not get mine. I haven't seen mine at all.
So you guys.
I've seen where if you filed your last taxes with H&R Block, TurboTax, or any of the other big popular ones, there might be a little problem there, a little glitch that you might not get it real quick.
I see that asshole Mnuchin there on there too, talking about, well, everybody could live on $1,200 or something like that.
Steve Mnuchin is a perfect example of who Donnie is. Steve Mnuchin came in as Treasury Secretary for what he is. He's a money-grubbing, Steven, heartless asshole who, during the last financial crisis, foreclosed on hundreds and thousands of homes. Kicked people out of the foreclosed, baby. Kick them out and take their house. That's where he made his money. Hundreds of thousands. He worked for Goldman Sachs. Huh?
Yeah, he's talking
one out of 16 Americans. So probably, if 16 people, one of them got screwed. By Steve Mnuchin.
Yeah.
By mentioning Mnuchin, you brought up an article I read yesterday. I didn't have time to research it, though. From what I read, it was about the stimulus checks that they are exploiting a loophole, that they are protected against federal.
Hey, Bud, one man, can you mute yourself?
With the exception of people that owe our child support.
There's noise coming through.
But there is a loophole where private debt collectors can take your check from you, and banks can let them.
Yes. Yeah. Now they can't take it for past taxes. You can't. They won't withhold it if you owe the IRS or any government agency. But Steve Mnuchin, being the little cockroach that he is, the money grubber that works for Goldman Sachs, he left the loophole that private debt holders they can take your check. If they can garnish your check, they have a right to do it. Right now, in the middle of a pandemic, when people are 22 million people out of work, 22 million
just
Americans.
trying to eat.
that are just trying to survive, and he leaves the little clause in there that says, well, if the private debt collectors want to take it, they can take it. That's a little scumbag. That's the guy
And
that
let's
doesn't
just-
give a shit whether your family eats or not.
Let's think
That's-
about
But
all the people.
I
in
think they
America that are
already
in
got to
debt.
have the action in place on your account before they can do it.
Yes.
They can't just do it because you owe
No,
money.
no.
Right.
Well, I mean,
they have to have a
think
judgment.
of like the people that are living paycheck to paycheck probably have some sort of debt.
Yes.
Yeah,
This-
definitely.
This
I mean,
is
it's
what
a good portion
Steve
of the country.
Mnuchin said yesterday. He said people that are getting these $1,200 checks should be able to live off of them for 10 weeks.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him live, I'd like to see him live on $1,200.
Steve, yeah, let's stick your ass
Yeah,
in a
go on.
cabin out in the woods and give you this much, $1,200, which is $750 an hour, 40 hours a week for 4 weeks. That's what that is. Let's give, as a matter of fact, why don't we
10
lower
weeks,
the
that'd be
wages of the
$120 a
Secretary of
week,
Treasury
John.
to $1,200 a month? That's what you
Yeah.
get paid, Steve. You can make it on that. Don't worry about
For
your money
10 weeks.
grubbing wife.
It would be
Yeah.
$120 a week.
Well, let's think about this for a second.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
people that are going to get their checks stripped from them that really need to eat, what do you think they're going to do?
They're going to go hungry, or they're going to turn to
It's survival mode
Yes.
at that point. What do you think
yeah,
they're going to do?
you're encouraging
Yeah.
that kind of atmosphere, because a man's gonna he's gonna do whatever he has to do to get food for his family, and sometimes that takes a bad
There's gonna be
freaking turn.
There's going to be looting and stuff going on, things
Well,
like
Oh,
that.
nothing would make the Republicans happier than if people started looting. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
They
Right.
call a fucking holiday.
Mm.
They
Yeah.
call a national holiday.
Diana
Little
Mallory
Looter
just
Day.
donated $20, darling, through Super Chat and said, "Hallelujah, I didn't miss nothing. You are damn right." Thank you, Diana Mallory. I'm sorry I get up. I don't rant right here in the middle of my show. It's y'all's show, not my show, and I have a
Here's
tendency to
the
get
thing,
pissed
right?
off.
Everyone
the
who's
dog-
losing
dog
their
show.
job, right? Everyone who's losing their job is also losing their employer-provided rip-off health care, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which means that there are now more and more Americans. Now, 4.5 million Americans this year have lost their health insurance.
Yeah, you lose your
And
job.
you want to
Yep.
know what the problem with that is? The biggest problem with that is? The problem is we keep hearing this story about it's like, oh well, if you're not insured, if you can't afford to go to a doctor, you can go to an emergency room and you can
Yep.
get treated there. Okay, but let me tell you something. That's exactly what they want because
Yes.
they make a fucking fortune off of
Yep.
people coming to the. They're happy when you come to the emergency room with a cut on
Got
your
a
finger.
big price on anything that happens in that emergency room.
Because they can charge you $1,250 for putting a stitch and a band-aid on you and send your ass out, and you really owe that money. And tough shit, if you can't pay,
Yeah.
your credit
That's right.
report gets hammered. When your credit
And it's
report gets
down-
hammered,
it's
guess
downhill
what-
from there.
And then
Yeah.
guess what? Employers now check when you go for employment. Guess what they
Yep.
check?
Exactly.
They put you in that
They
position.
check
Everything is
your
based
I
on your
heard a
credit
doctor
report.
yesterday say you can go into the hospital and be and be tested. You'll get a free test. The cost to stay in the hospital if you have COVID for 1 week can run over $30,000. And if you have to stay there for more than 1 week and get put on a respirator, which 80% of the people don't come off of, it could cost your family over $120,000 for a COVID stay in the hospital.
I don't know
Yeah.
about y'all. I ain't got $100,000. We
A
don't
little
have
bit
that. They're
short.
talking about we don't have $400 for an emergency. How the hell are you going to pay that? Nothing speaks to the need to address healthcare in this nation than a pandemic, in my opinion. This is everywhere. And as we were speaking the other
gee,
night, it
wouldn't
doesn't.
it have been nice if we had an office in the White House that
Gee,
could
somebody ought to thought of that.
could
Wouldn't it be nice if
think
we
about
had a-
what's going to happen in 5 years if a pandemic hits.
Mhm.
Wouldn't it have been nice to
if
have
we
that?
had
And wouldn't it be?
universal health care?
Wouldn't it be
Yeah,
something
Healthcare is a
5
human
years ago
right.
somebody said that?
You need
Which our
universal
current
health.
administration is in front of the Supreme Court right now to do away with health care, Obamacare,
Fight.
Yes.
in this country.
Right.
Yeah.
You fight.
We're losing
Right
Bernadette again.
now.
Well, if you had a president like healthcare like Canada, you'd be set.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But here's also
Something like
something
that,
that
you know?
You know,
Yeah,
it- we don't have health care here. I've said it from the
No.
first time I did this show. We have profit care. That's what we have. Your
We have
health
health-
has
we have
nothing to
health
do with this.
insurance.
This is a money making machine here, from your doctor and his
it's
bedside
a
manner
damn
all the way
shame
up to the hospital,
when this-
baby.
It's
It's
all
a
about
money
When
making.
states have to fly into their state PPE secretly so as the federal government will not
Take it.
steal it from them, that's a damn shame.
You know, it's
Yeah.
I really
John,
do. Yeah.
What
Go ahead,
good
Dennis.
has he done for this country? I
Hey,
say
got a
nothing.
big tax cut for wealthy people.
let's
Yeah.
let's
Oh,
look
They're
don't
at
not
this.
forget,
wealthy. That's not his
he-
fault. That's your fault.
Hey, he did normalize racism.
Yes, he did
Yes,
normalize.
yes,
He brought it
yes.
right back out
But
of the
was
gutter.
it a good thing?
No,
Was it a good thing?
no.
Dennis,
Make
what were you going
America
to say?
You
great
said,
again.
what has he done? You didn't say,
Say
good
the,
thing.
No, I asked what good thing has he done for America?
He ain't done
What
one
good
motherfucking
thing has
good thing.
he
You haven't
No.
done
done?
damn-
Period.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
He
but-
I
has
just don't see it.
pilfered and raped and fucked this country over, and that brings me to say, fuck
Did you say
Trump.
fuck Trump? She said fuck
Yeah.
Trump right here on the show.
It took her long enough.
Yeah,
You haven't
yeah,
done a
really.
da-
Kind of late in the
Good,
show there,
you got
Bernadette.
me worked up now.
You haven't done a damn thing. All he's done is enrich his buddies there who
That's
are rich.
what he does.
That's all he does.
Dennis,
well, I
what
think
were you
we
going to
need
say?
to send 1 billion postcards to POTUS at
Yep.
1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Something I just considered when the Supreme Court hears the constitutionality of Obamacare, say they deem it unconstitutional, which
Right.
throws
It throws the
pre-existing
whole
conditions
laws
out.
out.
And now that everybody that's unemployed is going to be kicked off their health insurance, and they have no protections for pre-existing conditions,
But
so when they
here's the
go to get
thing.
insurance after they get employed again, they're screwed.
Yeah, because they're
Even
uninsured.
if you're not working and you don't have insurance, let's say you're one of those people who want to go out and find a job, okay? And you have the pre-existing condition of being a COVID spreader.
Yeah, survivor.
That which they already say that half of Americans are. Who the hell is the insurance companies going to insure and make their money off of then?
No, they'll take your money, but I'm sorry, COVID-19 is a pre-existing condition. We can't cover that.
No, they'll
got
insure
something wrong
you
with
for,
your appendix?
for 20
No?
grand a month.
Yeah, come back when you do.
Oh, but are you going to pay 20 grand a month? No. You're
That's what
not
I'm
going
saying.
to
That's-
pay that.
No.
It's going to be
So
the
you're not
1%.
going to get insurance, and they're not going to get money.
And
And
that's what it's
whatever
about.
money they do
That's
have,
what it's all
they're
about.
going to have to spread over the rest of them that got that shit.
Yep. It doesn't matter.
And remember what Jesus said. Money is the most important. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's
That's
right. He
what
said,
it is.
Yeah,
rich
right, he
man
didn't say
get into
that.
heaven. No, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said something anyway.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out
Yeah,
later.
he
Look it
did.
up in Leviticus. It's in
You couldn't get Donald Trump's fat ass through the eye of a.
there. Yeah.
He couldn't. He
That's
couldn't
something
even
else.
find-
Don't even get me started on the religious thing
Oh,
of
yeah,
you know
let's not go
how the
there.
evangelicals have found him to be a Christian and a God fearing.
Well,
Are
it's
you
the same
shitting me?
evangelicals that are out there protesting in Lansing, Michigan, and in Ohio. Huh?
You know,
They
you
got
know,
on-
you know what preachers are rooting for him? Prosperity preachers, the ones that say, just
Yeah.
you know, the more money you send to me, the
And
more
the
money
rest of
God
them
will
that are
give to
saying
you.
that God's
Yeah,
going to take
checks in the
care of
mail.
this, they're going to
Yeah.
be covered by the word of God and be washed
Yeah.
over and all the rest of that.
Yeah.
They're dying too. Because
Well,
there's
actually-
one thing that none of us is going to escape, and that's death. Just how?
Well, this thing.
How are you going to die?
Right.
In the hospital by
Can't win.
yourself with no family there and a nurse or a doctor that also has COVID holding your hand and
No, I
crying
was thinking
because
I was
another person has died on
Hey,
their
hey,
watch?
to that other fella that wanted to know what Donnie's doing, that's good. Hey, he did something today. In case you didn't hear it in the big news today, Donnie again, he made news because he rolled back EPA regulations on mercury and other heavy metals being released by your local refineries and companies and corporations that cook that shit up, throw it up in the air.
Oh, wow. That's
Lands in
great.
your lungs and shit, but don't worry about it. It's just mercury and heavy metals.
Yeah.
It's no more worse than coronavirus, or you'll get
Yeah.
over it. Don't worry. That's what he does. If you're asking me, that's the first thing you started recognizing when he came into this shit. Was he's here to destroy every regulation he can. Well, John, we need to get rid of the regulations. They're cutting into business. You know why those regulations are there, buddy? Because when I was a kid, when I was in my teens, we had acid rain all over the freaking place. You couldn't take your kid and go fishing down at the river. Are you shitting me? I wouldn't eat one of them fish out at the river. You're going to freaking die. We had pollution all over the freaking place because we started complaining about it. You couldn't breathe the air. You couldn't even see Los Angeles. Shit. Nothing. Smog everywhere.
Real quick, John, somebody in the comment, Deborah Haynes said, breaking news, Roger Stone denied new trial, gag order lifted.
Oh.
Denied a new trial, so he's guilty and going to prison. And the
Yeah.
gag order is
All
lifted.
the best people. All
Yeah.
the best people.
I know all the best people. Yeah, look where he is on the pick of anything. You take a pick of anything and see what kind of person is in that position. How many chiefs of staff has he gone through? You know, he treats them like shit and tosses them out the freaking door.
And the current one had to take 14 days before he could take his job because he too was exposed.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, Mick Mulvaney had to go. Yeah, we do it all the time. Quid pro quo is just a natural thing. And,
Trump knows the best people. Yeah, Trump knows all the best people.
Best words. He
Yeah,
knows all
they're
the
all
words.
sitting in jail
Yeah.
right now.
Yes.
No,
How many? Yeah. All you have to do is
His attorney, his campaign
look at how many of his people are in
advisor
prison
is going
or have been found guilty on charges. And then, I don't know. Look it up. The Obama administration. See how many they've had. Yeah, none, zero. How many has this guy had? I lost count.
So many. Yeah.
Don't be stupid. Be an American. Stand up for this country. Recognize a fool when you see it. Recognize a con when you see it. And be proud to call it out.
Stand up for your own damn life.
That's
you
it,
want
baby.
to go back and
Don't
work
follow
for
a
the
bunch of assholes who
corporations and
think,
give
oh,
them
yeah,
more
I'm
money
badass and I'm going to follow
sacrifice
Trump.
your life for that shit?
It's a disgrace,
go back
man.
to work.
Be a proud American. Call it out for what it is. Call
you
a lie
go
a
to
lie.
church and hang out in church and die for your country? Oh no, but that's what all us old people was supposed to do.
Now they go to church, they'll be closer to God real quick there once they get in there.
Real quick.
Yeah, no shit. Like that preacher said. Yeah.
Oh, they'd be closer to God, but they'd be closer to somebody.
The irony of that gentleman. Nobody wishes anybody to die of this shit. Nobody does. But the irony of that preacher, and I don't even remember his name now. They had him on camera. The God is stronger than the coronavirus. We don't have to worry. You're washing the blood.
Yep.
He died of coronavirus.
Yeah, he did. He died.
It's
And
time.
you know what? His family didn't get to go in either.
It's time to recognize a fool when you see one, as in Trump, and it's time for you to realize God's a busy guy, and he's got a pandemic going on, and he might not, cover your ass. So keep that in mind. He might be a little busy with you. I don't know, starvation and kids somewhere. Somebody who needs a touchdown somewhere.
But God works in mysterious
ways.
Isn't that what they say?
I guess he sent a message. But not really. And I don't even want to bring it up, but I have to now because it done said something. Because I saw his daughter the other day. 4 members of that same family got the coronavirus. He died, and 4 other members of the family have it. and they're heartbroken. They can't bury it. I mean, go to his funeral and stuff. Hell, it's heartbreaking story. And
voting matters, people.
Yes.
As we can see.
Yeah.
Voting matters. So if you got a problem with Biden, you need to get the fuck over it.
Yes. So, to the gentleman that may be listening, we apologize for being rude and pissing you off and all that shit. But we really are.
You apologize for yourself, John. I don't apologize anymore.
Well, I don't really want to piss him off. But, and if he is, well, that's just too bad.
I don't care.
But
he gets a little heated. I mean, he's more of an acquaintance. But
well, we try to reach out to conservatives, those before Trump. Yeah, at least they were Reagan, and Reagan was an asshole. But hell, I'll give you, they weren't jackasses. You know, you have to recognize that until you clean up your own house, you can't throw stones at Democrats. So you can't sit there and tell me, oh, the weak Democrats do this. They come down. Kiss my ass. Until you recognize the asshole that's in your house, don't talk to us about ours, baby.
The pastor's name, Bishop Gerald Glenn.
Bishop
Pastor
Gerald
of the
Glenn,
New Deliverance and Evangelistic Church.
That's the ones, baby. Hey, if I was y'all, I'd watch out for the ones that say evangelistic. Maybe just go to a Baptist church or, you get into that. I don't know. I don't want to get in there. Anyway, I guess the names are riding by.
God, maybe you should do it from home for right now.
Yeah, that's where you should.
I'm pretty sure he can hear you.
I'm pretty sure he can hear you no matter where you are.
And he's found in prison all the time. Trust me. Yeah. He can hear you at home too.
Yeah, he can hear you Hey, he's everywhere. So you don't have to go anywhere. He's already at your house waiting on you.
Right.
Anyway, I guess we ought to wrap it up for the evening. I want to thank everybody that came by tonight and had the discussion. Mitch Goldstein, he's still eating his dinner, I guess, him and Julie.
No, I'm right.
Oh, are you back?
I've been just patiently listening because I know
I got to scroll up. I don't see your. I got my thing.
I'm here. I swear to God.
I didn't. Oh, look at there. There's Mitch down there. Ah, damn.
Here am I.
Did I screw it up? There it is. Now I had to scroll.
Just been digesting.
Well, how were the crab cakes? How were the crab cakes?
Oh, dude, man, I make some mean ass crab cakes.
You made some mean ass crab. How were the tater tots?
Next time you're gonna have to make some for the whole crowd.
Really?
Mitch.
We do have
All right, well, you guys, I told you guys I was making them. Nobody even showed up. Oh, COVID.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Coronavirus.
You got to leave it to you to offer it when we can't. We can't come over.
Yeah.
We can't come over. But we do have a food porn channel, so you can take a picture of it and post it in the food porn.
Take a picture, Mitch.
Well, it's all in my belly, so unless you want me to get one.
No. That's right. That's okay.
I think we're gonna pass on that.
That is a foregone conclusion. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Mitch. Good night, Julie. Gary Spring, thank you for coming down from Canada. We appreciate it, buddy.
Yep.
We always enjoy your voice.
Here,
Dennis, Budman, thank you very much. And always enjoy your conversations here. And keep doing it.
Good show tonight.
It was. I enjoyed it tonight. Bernadette, as always, we appreciate that. And thank you so much for bringing the idea of go out and get I'm going to get my postcards from the post office. I'm going to fill them out, get my Sharpie out, and I'll have them on the show here and show them and everything. I want to thank, wait a minute, who was it? I got to scroll over here now. I want to thank, wait a minute, I lost it. I want the person that bought the 30 cards. I can't find my scroll.
Lenepe 1776.
That's it. I want to thank you very much for already getting your cards, buddy. And I'm going to get mine. And I urge you to get those cards. Right on it. You're fired. If you have a Sharpie, that would be appropriate. And mail them to him. Let's flood his office with them. If he doesn't see him, at least the people in the mailroom will go, damn.
That's a good idea.
And on an outward note, Jill just donated $10 through Super Chat. Jill, we appreciate it very much. Thank you. Those keep us going, baby. Keep us on the air. What's that?
Number one fan. They got a little. You can't see it from here
I
because,
can't see it.
but it's a little emoji of. I can't bring it over to you, but
it's
yeah.
Dancing Parrot says number one fan.
Yeah, Dancing Parrot says number one fan.
Thank you, Jill. We appreciate that tremendously, baby. Actually, you're not a fan. You're a family member, baby. That's what you are. That's what everybody here is. I want to thank everybody that came by in our YouTube and our Facebook chat, our Periscope chat. It's showtime. We know you're out there, buddy. Anyway, I've been noticing the conversations going back. I love to see people talking to each other because sometimes I don't get to follow the chat as much as I would like to. It flies by. Melody Cool says she's getting her postcards. I love it. Thank you very much. Anyway, it's a Blue Dot family, baby, and this is the family meeting right here. We're the conversation going on. Those here in the room, we appreciate it very much. But this is the family chat going on over here, and that's what's so important. So keep that going, and don't be afraid to jump in there and come on over to our Discord channel. Right after the show, we're going to go upstairs to the Blue Room, and it's always cooking up there. So there's always something to do in the Blue Dot family, so y'all come. Anyway, everybody here on the panel, y'all say good night to everybody.
Good night,
everybody.
There you go. There you go.
Good night.
And y'all have a good one.
Travis.
We will be here again on Sunday night for our next Blue Dot family
Hey, I
meeting.
see Aussie Dave in the blue room.
Aussie Dave is in the Blue Room, out freaking standing.
Right on.
Let's all go up there and jump on his ass. Anyway, y'all know what tomorrow is. It's Beer and Bud Friday. So as I always say, put the beer on ice, put the bud in the bowl, and let's get ready for the weekend, baby. It's going to be a whole shit show next week, so we got to get ready for it. Relax and chill out. Y'all have a good time, and we'll see y'all later. Bye now.